What's going on, YouTube? Boy, Humble checking in back in with you again. Want to do this quick little video. I actually did a part one of this before, but that was last season. So this season, there's been a compelling push for MVP in which Tua, Jalen, and Mahomes are the three possible candidates based on their impact on their teams. So, I want to do a little quick snippet basically with Tua and Jalen because Mahomes right now, he's literally, 1,000 yards clear of Tua and like 900 some yards clear of Jalen Hurts. So right now, Jalen is he's lose. There's a second place race coming down between Jalen and Tua, in which Jalen's only 81 yards clear or 81 yards ahead of Tua. He's thrown one less touchdown pass to Tua, and he's committed 2 less turnovers than Tua. However, the huge difference in this is Tua missed 2 games. He missed 3 because he got taken out of the Cincinnati game. He missed the Vikings and Jets game. So he missed the second half of the Cincinnati Bengals game. He missed the entire Vikings and Jets game, which is, 10 quarters of play that he could have accumulated more yards, more touchdowns, more stats and stuff like that. So for Hurts to have played 12 games this season so far, he's at 2,940 yards. He has 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. His yards per game is 245, whereas Tua's yards per game is 285, which means that he's actually putting the ball up a lot more than Hurts is because Hurts is a running quarterback. Now, I've given him credit this season because he has improved in terms of passing, but it doesn't change what he is. He prefers to run. It's his thing. It's what he does best. So it's not a knock on him, but when you're talking about a pure quarterback, meaning that they could drop back in the pocket, diagnose plays, and make the correct read, Jalen does that here and there in spurts. It ain't an every down occasion. Whereas Tua, every single down he drops back, he's reading the defense, he's manipulating the defense with his eyes, he's making the correct reads and getting the ball where he needs to go. Jalen doesn't always do that. There are certain instances where the play is designed for 1 or 2 reasons and he takes off. Or he tries to escape the exit hatch to get down the field to get more yards with his legs, which is why he has 10 rushing touchdowns in the season. And everybody praises him for that. I don't. Because in being a quarterback, if your job is primarily to get other people the ball, you don't have to necessarily run to get yards or stats. Let your other players do that. But Jalen Hurts is a quote-unquote athletic quarterback playing a position, so he's going to do what he knows best, which is escape the pocket and run. He still does that from time to time in certain games where he calls plays for himself and he escapes the pocket to get touchdowns, which is why a bunch of his touchdowns came on the goal line, 1 or 2 yards away. He punches it in, and people like Skip Bayless praises him for that, but they neglect the fact that his actual stats aren't as great as they seem to be. Because in 12 games, he should be right up there with Patrick Mahomes in terms of passing in 12 games. He's not. He's 800 yards behind Patrick. Joe Burrow is, I think, within 350 yards of Patrick Mahomes right now. And I think Justin Herbert's just about the same. Tua, the only difference between Jalen and Tua is Tua missed 2 games and still came out here and shut a lot of people up. Because after he got hurt, he came back. They didn't think he would be the same quarterback. But 3 consecutive games, they put a 350 plus yards and 3 touchdowns in each one of those 3 games. And then he followed it up with another, I think, 290 some yard, 2 touchdown performance against the Houston Texans. And then, of course, this past weekend with the 49ers, despite him losing the game the way they did, he still put up damn good numbers. 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 2 ugly interceptions he threw. And he had a shitty game. There's no way around it. However, if you go back and look at the game, the 49ers defense got exposed. I don't think there's many more teams out there that can do that to them. Because the Dolphins schemed up great play calling, and they had receivers open that Tua was overthrowing. For some reason, I think he was pressing a little bit too hard. Because in the fourth quarter, you saw him hit those passes, including that 45 35-yard dart inside to Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. So, Tua and Jalen are two different quarterback entities. There's nothing wrong with that. My only issue with it is the people that come after Tua to up prop Jalen and say, oh, well, he's a better quarterback. He's not. He's more of an athletic quarterback. And it's not really that athletic. He just escapes the pocket. He likes to run. He's built like Dante Culpepper used to be. Just solid brick and that can run, except Jalen's faster than Dante. But that's how his body stature is built. Now that's not a knock on him at all, but when people sit there and say he's a pocket quarterback or he's a quarterback, you gotta call it for what it is. He's just an athletic playmaker that plays quarterback. He refused, even he came out in the draft, he said it. I'm not playing nothing other than quarterback. So, I mean, at that point, what else can you say to the kid? But to all those who keep saying he's a franchise quarterback, he's this, he's that, I want to call him a franchise quarterback because once teams figure out, like next season will tell you exactly what Jalen Hurts is. Because teams are going to figure out this ring game and they're going to get more and more bodies to stop it. And then what happens? You're forcing them to drop back and throw the ball 30 times a game, and he barely put up 200 yards, and then the heads will start to talk. So, for me, it's very simple. Tua is a generational type quarterback, but I call him a once-in-a-lifetimer because the way he can actually play the position and to be a lefty, that's unique to the position itself because there's a lot that goes behind. There's a lot that goes to playing quarterback, and there's a lot that entails in that position that a lot of people can't deal with. He's managed to handle it pretty well. But people shouldn't go around here knocking him because he missed 2 games and he's had to fight so hard just to get the recognition that he rightfully deserves. Which to me, he's earned every praise he's gotten, he's earned it. He went out there and busted his butt, put up those numbers, and now it's showing. He's actually on pace to finish with 34 touchdown passes this season, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all. He's on pace to put up 4,000 yards, which is damn good for him for his 3rd year. Because I believe from here he's just gonna take off. I don't see him declining next season because he put up 4,000 yards this year. Now, of course, teams will scheme differently against their offense so that the middle of the field won't be so wide open. But that don't mean every team is equipped to deal with that. So he'll probably still get the same production until he meets better teams that can play the adjustable defense that's needed to kind of slow down the offense. But I still feel like Tua can get his numbers even next season. I still feel like he has a better chance. I think next season of winning it because I think that he'll get the protection he needs and he'll try to stay more healthy and he'll play more games. But I will say this: if you look at his numbers, they're improving. He went from 18 to 26. Now he's at 28. He'll probably be at, like I said, 4,000 yards by the end of the season, which means he made a 1,200-yard jump. So every year he's making jumps. That speaks to the mindset and to the work ethic of Tua and how much he understands his opportunities in Miami and how much he's dedicated to his craft because he could easily be like, well, you know, I've done enough here. You know what I'm saying? I have winning seasons and, you know, we getting close, but we haven't made the playoffs yet. No, he understands how important it is to make the playoffs. And not just to make it, but to win some games. Hell, making is one thing, but you got to be able to get there and perform, which I think he's more than equipped to do. But on that note, guys, like I said, let me know what you think. Who's had the better season thus far? Is it Tua or Jalen? Because you asked me, it's actually Tua. He's had the more important season. Yes, Jalen has a better record. But if you look at the totality of the offense, most of it is just rushing. So it's not a whole lot into the schematics of that. It's just great blocking. They get lanes and they get downhill. Tua's had to actually rely on nothing but Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle majority of the season. Look how they turned out. Both Jalen's closing on 1,000 yards and Hill's already 1,300 yards. So they both have had a significant impact on Tua. And I think Tua's had a great significant impact on them as well. But that's just my 2 cents, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gonna try to do more videos with the holidays coming around the corner, because I know I gotta do better. But that's my time, guys. Peace.